have city email addresses. They'll be on the city website if you want to reach out directly to us for any additional information or comments that you may have. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember-elect. So here we are in November, and we will, over the course of the next month or so, be conducting 5 of these budget town halls. That is our opportunity to connect with our residents on their priorities and what's of interest to them. From December through February, the lights were supposed to go off. Yes. Okay, perfect. I thought someone leaned against a switch. From December through February, roughly, we're moving through a process where our department heads will be submitting their budget requests internally to the Office of the Mayor and to the Budget Office. We will review those requests after January 1st to sit down and talk to our directors about their individual departmental priorities. And we use those conversations as a way to help shape the mayor's proposed budget, which we have to complete generally around the end of February to give the budget office time to put that document into the kind of condition it needs to present to our council by April 1st. I am required to balance the budget when I present it to them, so that is part of what that process is to make sure that we're comfortable that our revenue projections and our anticipated expenditures equal one another. When April rolls around and we presented the budget to the City Council, the oversight of the process shifts a little bit into the Council's purview. They will hold a series of public hearings. That calendar is usually set before April 1st, so we'll know what those dates are before we actually get into the budget process and the budget hearing in earnest in April. We have to set a real estate property tax rate by about the middle of May. That has to do with the logistics of the county being the entity that mails our tax bills to our shared constituents. It is the council's responsibility to approve a budget, to approve a tax rate, and to set an administrative fee schedule for the work that we do in the city of Frederick. By charter, a budget must be adopted by the 20th of June. If a budget is not adopted by the 20th of June, then the most recent mayor's proposed budget becomes the budget for the city of Frederick. I say most recent proposed mayor's proposed budget because up until the 15th of May, the mayor, may still make changes to my proposed budget, and when I make a change to my proposed budget, that becomes the proposed budget the date that I make that change. I can only do that through May 15th, at which point 100% of the ability to change the budget at that point rests in the hands of the council. So, to give you just sort of an overview of the process for people who maybe are more visually oriented versus the words, budget town halls with the residents, internal departmental requests are submitted. Those have to be in by the end of the calendar year, by December 31st. A review of those operating requests by the Office of the Mayor in conjunction with our department heads and the appropriate superintendents and managers that oversee those budgets. The development of an annual budget that is balanced, a presentation of that budget to the council, workshops and public hearings by the council to hear from the community and our staff on those budget proposals, and finally an adoption of the budget and property tax rate. And it feels like almost immediately after that we're back in at an internal level thinking about what we want the budget to look like for the next fiscal year. So as I said, there are a number of ways in which the budget can be changed. The first is that I present the budget on April 1st, but after hearing from the council through their public hearing process and other conversations, we believe that a budget amendment is possible. I can amend that budget. I think I said May 15th earlier. It's May 14th is the last date where I can amend that budget to have that be the mayor's proposed budget. After May 14th, through a series of conversations and amendment processes that the council may go through with the council process, they can revise the budget. Those changes are often made as a motion to adopt the budget with a series of changes or potential changes to that. The council must keep the budget balanced when they make those changes. That's an absolute requirement of the city of Frederick, that we adopt a proposed budget that is balanced. What's really important in this process is that we're hearing from the community. While the vast majority of the city's budget may not be fully discretionary in terms of changing things, there are enough dollars at play in the budget that the public's perspective on the process is really critical. And how do we engage with the public? Through budget town halls like this one. We will have an online budget feedback form when the budget is proposed. There'll also be an opportunity between now and as we're working through the process with the directors for the community to continue to share with us what their priorities might be. We'll do a series of hearings with the opportunities to participate both in person, online, or through the e-comment component that's available through all of our public meetings. And of course, one of the major changes of this budget process over previous ones is the introduction of a 7-member council, 5 of whom are elected by districts. So depending on where you live in the city, you'll want to look and find out who your council representative is. That will be a one-to-one direct opportunity to interact on the city's budget and the budget process. The last slide we wanted to present is just a little bit of an overview when you think about a budget that's got $151 million in it, and that's the operating budget for the general fund for fiscal year 2026. Where does most of that money go? How does that money get spent on behalf of the city of Frederick? This is a programmatic visual of where that money goes, with the overwhelming largest number of the budget to public safety, the funding of our police department, but you'll also see general government expenditures, planning, engineering permits and inspections, public works, parks and recreation, economic development, housing and human services, the always interesting other category, the debt service that we pay. The city borrows money to do projects, and we have annual debt service that we have to pay to retire that debt. And there is a mandatory set aside within our financial policies and our charter of funds that are in a rainy day or set aside. The tax rate for the city of Frederick presently is set at just a little over 70 cents per $100 of assessed value. That is a reduction from the city's property tax rate from a year ago. The percentage of the general fund revenue that comes from property taxes is nearly 70%. So we are heavily dependent on property taxes to fund general government. I will tell you that that is not necessarily by choice. The state sets our ability to raise revenues in certain ways, and we are limited largely to property taxes and a share of the state's income tax to fund general government operations. There's also a portion of the funding that comes through other revenues and fees and other taxes that we may derive. That's a very high-level, broad overview of the process and where we are headed over the next several months. We want to offer an opportunity to any members of the public who are here this evening who wish to share with us any of their budget priorities to come to the microphone in the room and to do so. And we look forward to engaging with you in the community throughout the coming months as we build the budget for fiscal year 2027. Thank you so much. Do we have any members of the public here this evening who wish to provide any information or advocate on behalf of anything in the budget? Well, this is going to be a very short meeting. Thank you all very much. We certainly appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful evening.